So, toilets are everywhere and super important. Which might sound a little funny, but lots of health problems. Everyone needs to go to the bathroom, water waste, and more. And they have led to several revolutions in health. So here are some ideas to make them better for everyone, but especially disabled people. From cleaning up less to making it easier for them to use. One is that having a bigger toilet, but having it so that they have the same seating profile, so it's nice and comfortable to sit when they're pooping, but when they lift over, there's a bigger gap so they don't have to aim as much while peeing, which can be a problem for many guys, well, males aside, I mean, because some of them don't have the biggest penises, honestly, so they have trouble aiming, or they have hand-eye coordination issues, other issues that make aiming difficult. So having a bigger surface makes aiming easier, but it also means that people have to clean up less, and it's less of the gross factor, and maybe a little less disease and less smell. Over this area, maybe you could have a second thing over it. It's like a grid pattern or something that prevents splashing or something, but also gives some support to the structure above, if you don't want it just to have an empty hole. Another idea is to have more self-clean toilets, which they have invented in some places, to spray stuff and other things in them to clean themselves up. And therefore, it'll be easier to maintain for disabled people, or spread less disease. Both very, very good things. And maybe it will also mean less janitors and stuff getting sick from cleaning up such a mess, or they can clean up other things. Another kind of idea is to have bars or something nearby, and we only do this to help people get up and down more easily if they're sitting on such a toilet. We could also maybe have toilets with adjustable heights or something, fancy in some ways, so people with different body types can more easily sit down and get back up. Maybe there's a sidebar that can pump up and down to move the whole toilet up and down. Maybe it's electronic, maybe it's powered by person, even though electronics is easy for disabled people. So just having those adjustability. Also, a nice thing maybe is to have some ability to call an emergency if something bad happens to you on the toilet, because a lot of bad things happen to you on the toilet. You actually have a higher chance of having a heart attack and stuff on the toilet than in many places, because pooping is an accident that requires muscles and pushing. Or maybe you go to the toilet because you're feeling ill, and it turns out you're feeling a lot more ill than you expected. Another thing is to have, when the seat is down and everything fully, to have the whole thing become noise proof to some extent, so the noise doesn't bother people as much when they flush and stuff, which can be quite distracting to some people with certain sensory processing disorders. Because yes, it is a loud, annoying noise. And also, maybe we can, for God's sake, is for lifting stuff, the toilet seat up. Maybe instead we can have those places be little buttons or something, if you really try and be conscientious, or something on the side that lifts up with like pulleys or levers or something, so you don't have to touch the dirtiest part of the toilet, more or less. Another idea is to have some disinfecting ways in the toilet around the whole thing to clean it up, such as UV radiation or something. And this is particularly important in public bathrooms, because they can also, when you flush them, spray up a little particles and stuff like that, which can get people sick. It's not a very good measure of it, because it's really hard to analyze. So, yet another idea is that all these toilets have hydrogen peroxide generators to help disinfect it and keep it clean. Hydrogen peroxide, there's a couple of reasons, benefits compared to chlorine and other oxidants compared to non. Well, you can make it from air and water, hydrogen peroxide, or H2O2. And it turns back into water, oxygen, and that oxygen reacts with whatever it's cleaning and disinfecting. So that is a lot less toxic than like chlorine and everything. But it doesn't last as long. It doesn't, and that's the main disadvantage of why we don't use it in pipelines and stuff like that. Or water bottles, something that we need to keep cleaner for longer. Hydrogen peroxide, if we can make it though in the toilet to keep the toilet extra clean, because that's extra dirty water, and we can make it also at higher levels than we would be safe for us to drink, because we don't drink that water, and it doesn't last as long, but that means that's okay because we're only having it sit in the toilet for a while until we flush it. Having non-stick coatings on the toilet could also be maybe hugely beneficial for this cleanup. Having it only flush after we close the toilet or something, with the seat down and everything, might be a great idea because it might keep the noise in. But also having a toilet seat that completely closes up, and it's not like one of those open toilets that's usage, can keep little particles that spray up in the air from spraying up in the air and contain diseases and disease particles better. Also, flush delay could be beneficial because maybe it only flushes after you leave the bathroom. And then it can be even quieter to you because you've closed the door. And people also do not know that was you. Even though we would have to work around the settings so it doesn't bother the next person around them. Maybe it's a light that turns on and off when it's ready, just in case someone quickly runs in, or some way adjusting it during particularly busy times so it doesn't have as much of delay or any delay during particularly busy times of the bathroom usage. Another idea is to have something that you don't have to touch it to flush it. You just wave your hand in front of it and it flushes. The total automatic sensors do not work the best, and oftentimes go on the wrong times. So this is something kind of in between. Another kind of idea is that maybe all the stuff you poop or something goes into a tank at home or in big offices, which it might be a liability if it gets broken or something, but then that pre-filters out all the gunk, then that gunk, it grinds up and stuff, so when it pumps it into the big system, it doesn't clog waste, sewers, something as much, and can be processed later on into fuels or something like that, or recovered and reclaimed for useful processes, or it biodegrades faster and doesn't hurt the environment as much. But yeah, having a dirty poop tank at home might also be a liability, or in offices or whatever. Another thing is just to have an analyzer of poop and pee in these things to give you better health readings. And probably lastly for here is to have soundproofing stalls, which is not going to block away a lot of the noise, but might block away some of the noise of the fussing and stuff. And we can make it so it blocks certain frequencies much more, like the frequency of flossing. So if you yell and needing help, it doesn't obscure that as much. Just to make it quieter, and the more privacy these stalls are, the lower they are and everything, the better the soundproofing will help people. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. It really helps stand out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in a year, 4,000 more hot sauce. It is really hard, really help I think, and do it. or see if any of these are future videos, comments, or suggestions, please leave in the comment section below. Again, thank you very much. Goodbye.